Well, welcome back to the channel. Today for the woodworking project we have is a wine caddy right here, and we're going to show you guys how to make it. Let's go ahead and get started. First of all, we're going to need a few little, just small tools. We're going to need 1.5 inch screws. Also, make sure you have your sander, a router. If you should probably route what I'm going to show you here in a little bit. A drill with a I'm using a 730 force bit. You guys can just make sure it's small enough that it could probably get a little bit smaller, just enough that you'll be able to put the screws in. The reason why I'm going to pre-drill everything because we're using hardwood. If you're using pine, you probably won't have to do that, but we're going to end up with really small wood. And then also got a couple clamps and a square we're going to use. And then so we can put all our marks in it and get these all lined up. You can see the little screws and stuff I have in it. So I try to keep them all lined up so everything's got to be marked. First two pieces of wood, everything's out of 3/4 inch. So it's still the type of wood. I'm trying to stay with that, which you can buy that in the store, that size. This one here is a 16-inch board. Okay, and then it's 4 3/4 wide. Now we have to make this like this here, so we're gonna have to cut it like this. I'm gonna show you there. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna measure from the bottom up. Okay, we'll measure up 8 inches from the bottom up. So you pick out the best part of your board that you would like to have at the top. So measure from the bottom up 8 inches and put yourself a mark on the side. 8 inches on this other side here. Okay, and now we need to find the center of this board. So we got to find the center of the board, and I would say that is 2 1/8. No, 2 3/8. Let me see. Yeah, 2 to the center of that board. Off a little bit. Should be 2 3/8. So it'll be 2 3/8 from the end over. Find the center. Now, what I did up here, I just made it a 1 inch at the top. Okay, now you can make it a little bit wider. If you make it wider, you're going to have to go like maybe 1 inch on each side. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go from the center of the board over a 1/2 inch, and then from the center board here over 1/2 inch, and then put 2 marks there. So I'm just using 1/2 inches there. So that would give me a 1 inch on the top. Okay. Okay, so that gives me a 1 inch piece like this right here. So then now we do is take the straight edge, and we're going to mark those. We're going to mark down to the 8 inch mark up to my 1/2 inch on that one side, from the 1/2 inch from the center on that one side. Okay. Do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so that means we have to do 2 of these. Okay, so we're going to mark them the same, and then of course we're going to take this over and put it on the saw and cut this, and then take it and put it on the sander, because once I run it on the bandsaw, the edge is rough. So if you can, try to make sure you sand everything before you stick this together, because it will be kind of hard to get, unless you're going to sand it by hand. I'm going to use a palm sander, so I got all my wood all sanded and everything. So I got to make sure my edges are sanded. So we'll take it over here to the bandsaw and cut that. Okay, we're back here now. We got it all sanded up. We put it on the disc over here and sanded it. But what we have now, we have 16 inches high. Okay, and then we got 4 3/4 wide. Still 3/4 inch lumber. Just make sure you know. We measured from the bottom up 8 inches on both sides. And that gave me half length of the board is what it does, you know, because 16, half of 16 is 8. And then we found the center of the board, and we used the center of the board. And then, well, once we found it, it was 2 3/8 for the center. And then we marked it, and then we put a 1/2 inch on one side, 1/2 inch on the other side. And then I put a straight edge down through here, and then marked it and cut it on saw. So, okay, we got these two. Now, we're going to need to pre-drill some holes in this because, you know, like I said, hardwood does want to split. So, but I want to mark all the holes on. I want to make sure I mark everything. So first I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put 3 screws in the bottom. So I'm going to equal out these 3 screws, and I'm just going to go 1 inch and then 1 inch on this side. So I'm going to go both of them 1 inch, 1 inch, and then just find the center of the board. Of course, we said it was 2 3/8. Okay. Now you can do it like once you get the 1 inch here, 1 inch here, and then the center of the board. That centers these out. They look pretty nice on there. But to make sure you get it in between here is 3/4 of an inch. So you need half of 3/4 of an inch if you want to mark them, you know, to make sure the screws all line up. But, you know, this is all 3/4 inch wood. You can hold it down like this, and then just kind of put a light mark on the back side, and you know, you can just eye it up yourself where the middle of the 3/4 inch would be if you wanted to do it that way. It'll come out okay. So we'll do this one, and then we need to put 2 holes here. Well, actually, I'm gonna put 1 here for the handle for the top, so I got to drill that one, and I'll just bring it down. I'll just guess it maybe around 1/2 inch or something like that down. Depends on how big your handle you're going to be. So I'll tell you what, we're going to go. See, that board on the top is like 1 inch. I think it's 1 1/4 inch. This board on the top, yeah. So it's 1 1/4 inch. So I could probably drop down about, I don't know, I would say maybe 5/8. Okay, and then the center of that 5/8. So we're gonna put a hole there. Same thing on this in here. I'm gonna go down to maybe a 5/8, and then put a center here. And then, of course, if you like, you can use this other piece that you're going to head and drill the holes. Actually, you could hold it right up on top like this, if you like, and then you know, go ahead and run your drill down through. But we're not going to do it that way. We're just going to copy it, because I don't think somebody's going to see both sides of this, you know. And then I do like using the little marker like this, the little light mark in the back, and then make some really nice little marks here so we can line them screws up just like that. So we get to line these all up and then pre-drill them. Now I used a 1 full 4-foot board to make this 7.5 inches wide. Now I'm taking wood off the sawmill, so I got to cut that for 7.5 inches wide, you know, the best out of it. But you can probably use, I think it's the 1x8 and you buy in the store, I think that's what they are, 7.5 inches. So, and then of course use our drill bit and go ahead and drill some holes here. Some hardwood there. Woo. Okay, now I drilled the holes, but like I said, once you put these screws in, once you stick these screws in, you know, it's really hard to sand around them. So once you get the holes drilled, I always just like to go ahead and put some, well, not put some, just go ahead and sand it and get those marks off of there. And that way when I put it together, it's there's no marks on it anymore. Okay, we got these cut and sanded. I have some holes drilled because I like to go ahead and pre-drill my holes now. But we're going to go ahead and start on the second part, and that's going to be right here for your wine glasses. Okay. Now, what I did, I used a 1-inch Forster bit and found the center of this board here. And this board is 4 inches by 4 inches. Okay. Let's take it over to the drill press and go ahead and drill them. So I got these two pieces cut, okay, you can see, and we used a 1-inch bit in it. But we got to cut this little piece right in here. So it really depends on your glass. I'm going to go ahead, I cut a 3/4 inch in there. You can go down to a 1/2 inch if your glass will fit a 1/2 inch through there if you want it smaller, or maybe you can go down to like a 5/8. I might go down to a 5/8 in it. So we're just going to mark a 5/8 on this thing. Let's go this way. Wait a minute. I need to go upside down. Well, the reason why I go upside down, here's my 2-inch and 5/8. Okay. My 2-inch. No. I'm gonna do that one. Yeah, okay. Okay, so that's what I did. I just went ahead, made mine come down just a little bit more, down to like a 5/8. Okay, I got these cut out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to router these. So I'll get these all routered up, so that way it can kind of set down in. And I don't want to do, I'm not going to do both sides. I'm just going to do one side. I'm going to router one side, so. Okay, I got both of them routed. Now it's time to put them on. So what we're going to do here is I measured up. Actually, I came up to the 8 inches from the bottom. Okay, I measured up 8 inches where, just like I did when I made the, you know, lines across it, and I put a couple little things across both for 8 inches. I marked on this board here the same. Okay. And then, of course, I really don't have to use that. I'm not going to use that. We're just going to go ahead and line these up. Now, this is going to be my inside, so you got to make sure which one you're inside. Okay, when I cut these, I wanted to make sure, let you know that I cut them. You can see which way the grain's going. That's the way I cut them, with the grain coming down this way. Okay, and then made it where the glass comes into here. Stake come up this way across the grain. I just came along the grain. That's the way I did them. So it looks nicer because what you're trying to do is you're actually following the grain from the wood in here and then up. You understand what I'm saying? So if I would turn it this way, then you'd be crossing the grain. And then, you know, you want it to kind of look like it's going all the way up like that. So yeah, something to look forward to. And then, like I said, pick out your best side. There is a 3/8 inch on both sides. Should be a gap of 3/8 inch on both sides. So if you took your ruler and measured it, it should be 3/8 on one side, 3/8 on this side. But you know, if you can line that up, it's going to be fine. Just stand back and look at it and say, okay, well, that looks good to me. And if it looks good to you, it should be fine for everybody else. So I can put a little, line it up like this, put a little mark here, a mark on this side. Okay. So I need pre-drill holes in that one. I might as well do this one here. Just line up with this. 2 lines. Now I did put them on, so they're not going to set above the 8 inch. They're going to set below the 8 inch right here. Okay, that's why I got these set up now. And then I also have to put another little line here to make sure within that 3/4 inch where I'm going to put the screws at. So now I'm going to use just 2 screws. So I got to center, or you know, place the 2 screws so they would fit right in here, because you don't want your screw running through here. You know what I mean? So you probably come in, I would say, I think I did 1 inch, come in 1 inch and marked it. Okay, and then come in the other way 1 inch and marked it. So if I did it up here, I come in 1 1/4 inches is what I did. And then over here on this side, I do the same thing as 1 1/4 inches. So I kind of lined this up, you know, something like this, and then made sure that those screws wasn't going to come right through the middle, because it could split that. So, okay. So 1 1/4 inches is what I got from the edge. Okay. Do this one here. Now I need to put some center marks. The X's there. And go ahead and pre-drill those. Okay, now since I got them pre-drilled, I'm going to have to remark it again. This time I want to get that pencil marks off of there, because this is going to be on the inside. If you don't get them off of there, it's going to be a little hard to get to. So I'll go ahead and put the sander back on. Makes the job a lot easier. Okay. Now we need to put a couple screws. I have another drill I'm going to get, and it's a little bit smaller. I do like using the bigger drill if you're going to put, if you have to put a lot of torque into something, but it makes it a lot easier with a small drill. This is a 12 volt. I bought it from Harbor Freight. It's a little Hercules, but really nice. It's lightweight, you know what I mean, compared to something like this. You can see the difference in them, how heavy they are. So. But sometimes it's a little easier, something smaller. Okay, let me go ahead and, well, I need to do that one more time here. Let's see, I'm messing up if I don't get them marks off of there. Okay, that'll work. I have a few on there, but they're really light, so it doesn't kind of stand out. Need a little bit of glue. Move this thing out of it. Okay. Now, I got two of these, so I'm going to have to turn it up this way. Help me hold it. And we'll start with this being up this way. To make sure it turns it the right way. See if I even got that up there right. Turn it all the way up this way. I'll go ahead and check it here. Make sure I got it on there. Yep. That's good. Just lucked out on that one. You didn't get to see me mess up like 10 times doing this. It actually came out this first time. Okay, you can see this one's up like this. And then I put the router in where I cut it, you know, at the top. Don't forget, you can put it upside down and then got to take it back off, turn it around and do it again. Okay. Okay, we got those done. So you can see, here's what we got so far. Our two ends. Like I said, try to keep up what you're sanding so you don't have to do the sanding on the inside later. Okay, so the next step is to go ahead and we're going to place the bodding. And the bodding is, it's 4 and, oh, I got 3 3/4 wide and 4 3/4 long. And it'll go like this. Okay, so we got everything pre-drilled. And then I made a pattern, like a just an extra block to kind of help me hold it right here. Well, let me get it this way and hold it in like this. So it would be easier to, for me, screw that bodding, put the screws in the bodding. So let me go ahead and get some glue on it. Let's see. Yep, that works like that. Okay, take a center one out. Now you can see what we got. And like I said, just take your time. If you kind of mess up, especially like the bodding or something, you don't get them completely lined up, just run on sander, sand it up. Okay, now we have to do is make a handle. Now this handle, I just measured out a board. I had, like an extra scrap piece here, like this, and all I did was cut it to length here, and then we went ahead and just run the router over top of it and then put it in between. So what it kind of came out to was, actually this is 1.3 inches. I don't think that was an inch. I think it's 1.25 inches. I think I said before. So it was 1.25 inches by 3 3/8. No, 3 3/4 wide. So it's got to be the same size as the bottom. You know what I'm saying, when you put it up here. So let me go ahead and cut one of these up real quick. Okay, I'll run this router over this one. Okay, then I'm just going to go ahead and cut this to, I want an inch. No, I want 3 3/4 inch. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Okay, I got my handle. My handle's done. So, and then we're just going to place it up here like this. And I'm just going to run it level across the top here. It'll be fine. I mean, you could drop it down if you like to have it down a little bit, but I already pre-drilled my screws, so I'm going to have to keep them at the top here. So let me put a little bit of glue on that one. Put this on a rag. There it is. Now we need, I'm going to pre-drill, or not pre-drill, I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of these screws in. Get them started. Spread that open a little bit. Just line it up. That'd be best. Okay. Okay. It's coming together. It's coming together. Okay, it's coming together. So, okay, we got our two sides for our glasses. So, just set them like that. Okay, now we need to put these little slats on here. Now, the last project I did, I'm going to do the same thing. And what I did on it, I measured up from the bottom a 1 inch and started my first one. So I'm going to put a mark here, 1 inch, and put a mark on this other side. 1 inch. And like I said, well, if you like, I was going to tell you about the handle. If you like, you can make the handle, you know, you can put a little cut into it, like, you know what I mean? Just make your own little design. I made that. It's just kind of simple to do it this way. It doesn't matter. You can make it wider. This one here, I think it came down to like 1 1/4, 1 1/4 inches. And then, of course, you know, your same size is down here in the bottom. But you can do anything. You can use dowel rod. I have some pretty big dowel rod here somewhere, and you can put a piece of round dowel rod if you got one. You know, I think Walmart sells them pretty cheap too, the dowel rods. So I measured up, and now each one of these boards here are, I got 5¼ inches long. I have ½ inch, 1.5 inches wide. That's what I did on the last project. I think I did 1.5 inches. And then, of course, ½ inch thick, then 3/4. Now, if you want to make it ½ inch thick and you can't cut them down, you don't have a planer to cut them down, just go ahead and make them, 3/4 inch. I've seen them on there too. I just wanted mine just a little bit thinner, just to kind of make it different. And also, if it's not flush on the sides, I mean, it doesn't have to be, perfect. You know what I'm saying? So you just do it the best you can. Okay. So let me go ahead and get some of these started. But like I said, I measured up 1 inch. Okay. And I glue all mine, like I said. Now you get your first one started. And then I made 7 of those. So I made 7. I made 1 for that pattern. It was for the, the spacer. That's what I made it for. That's what I meant. Okay, so this is what I did. Same thing as I did the other one. I just used one of these. That's why I made 7 of them. And then we'll follow up with a next piece above it. Let me find out which one the best side is. Now I'm probably going to run into a little bit of trouble right here because I have a piece of wood that's got a knot in it here. So what I'm going to do is, we're not going to fight with it. We're going to go ahead and pre-drill and go through that knot. Just so I don't, like I said, fight with it. I don't want to split the wood or, Okay. Okay, and then we just repeat it for the next side. We're going to do the same thing. I got to put something underneath it here. Kind of help me hold it up a little bit there. And we're going to do the same thing. So we measure up from the bottom 1 inch. That'll be your first one. Just take your time. Now this was the pattern here, so I'll stick it right there. The spacer, I just write pat on them just because it lets me know that it was something that goes with that, that, because I'll put all these little pieces together and then probably drill like little holes in them, put string in them, hang them up, or put them together somehow, you know what I mean, so I can save. And then I can always come back. I do write it down. I have a book here. I write all my plans down. So every time I come up with something, or make something, I go ahead. Everything's written down. Okay, there you are. Let's see what it's going to look like with a couple wine glasses. It can use a little bit more, maybe hand sanding on it. So we got, oh yeah, see that's a little bit closer. This was 3/4 inch, and the other one's 5/8. So I made this in here. I brung it in 5/8. You could probably go a little bit more than that. It depends on how big your bottle is. And then this is some wine. My brother made this a long time ago, and I I've been holding on to. I don't drink or anything, but just something nice he did for me. But there you go. Real simple wine caddy. If you guys want to make it, and give you the plans and stuff, everything's there. Just go back and watch the video again. Everything should be in there. So, okay, if you like the video and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. And got any comments, just leave them down below. I'll get back as soon as I can. And have a great day. Thanks for watching.